Hi guys, இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு ரெடி ஆகணும் அப்படின்னா கிளாஸ் ரூம் லேர்னிங் மட்டும் பத்தாது. இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸ் கிட்டேருந்து கிடைக்கிற ரியல் வேர்ல்ட் இன்சைட்ஸும் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். அதனால தான் நம்ம யூனிக் டெக்னாலஜிஸில் எவ்ரி வீக் சாட்டர்டே இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எக்ஸ்பர்ட் மீட் ஒன்று கண்டக்ட் பண்ணுறோம். இந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எக்ஸ்பர்ட் மீட்டில் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் டாப் லெவலில் ஒர்க் பண்ணுற, அதாவது சிஇஓஸாக இருக்கட்டும், சிடிஓஸாக இருக்கட்டும், ப்ராடக்ட் மேனேஜர்ஸாக இருக்கட்டும், டெக் ஹெட்டாக இருக்கட்டும், இந்த மாதிரி எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸை கூப்பிட்டு வந்து நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸோட இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணி இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ரிலேட்டட் குவரிஸ் எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஆன்சர் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். இந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எக்ஸ்பர்ட் மீட்டுக்கு யூனிக் டெக்னாலஜி ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் மட்டும் இல்லாமல் வெளியிலேருந்து நிறையா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து அட்டன் பண்ணுறாங்க. அதோட ஃபீட்பேக் உண்மையிலே ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்குது. லாஸ்ட் வீக் நம்ம இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எக்ஸ்பர்ட் மீட்டில் மிஸ்டர் யாசிரை பார்த்தோம். யாசிர் வந்து சாம்சங்கில் சாஃப்ட்வேர் ப்ராடக்ட் மேனேஜராக இருக்கார். அவர் வந்து அட்மோஸ்ட் அந்த இன்ட்ராக்ஷன் வந்து 1 hour இருந்துச்சு. நிறைய பேர் நல்ல ஃபீட்பேக்ஸ் கொடுத்துருந்தீங்க. அதே மாதிரி இந்த வாரம் நடந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸ் மீட்டில் ஹெக்ஸாஃப்ளூயன்ஸ் கம்பெனியோட டைரக்டர் ஆஃப் டேட்டா சயின்ஸ் மிஸ்டர் மலாயா ரவுட் நம்மளோட கெஸ்ட் ஸ்பீக்கராக வந்து நம்மளோட ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸோட நல்லா இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணாங்க. இந்த செஷனில் மெயினாக ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் எப்படி ஒரு இன்டர்வியூ ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணணும், ஒரு ஃப்ரெஷராக இருந்தாங்கன்னா அவங்க ரெஸ்யூம்ஸில் என்னென்ன ஸ்கில் செட்லாம் இருக்கணும், ஒரு கம்பெனிக்கு நம்ம இன்டர்வியூ போகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம எப்படி நம்மளை க்ரூம் பண்ணிக்கணும் அப்படின்னு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் நிறைய கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்டிருக்காங்க. அந்த கொஸ்டின்ஸ் எல்லாத்துக்குமே அவருடைய ரியல் வேர்ல்டு இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் வச்சு ரொம்ப கிளியராக ஆன்சர் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. கண்டிப்பாக நீங்கள் ஒரு ஏஐ இன்ஜினியர்னு ஆசைப்பட்டாலோ, டேட்டா சயின்ஸ் சைடில் போகணும்னு சொல்லி, டேட்டா இன்ஜினியரிங், டேட்டா அனலிட்டிக்ஸ் இந்த ஃபீல்டு எதில் போகணும்னு ஆசைப்பட்டாலும் இந்த வீடியோ கண்டிப்பாக உங்களுக்கு ஐ ஓப்பனிங்காக இருக்கும். ஸோ வீடியோவை ஸ்கிப் பண்ணாமல் எண்டு வரைக்கும் பாருங்கள். கண்டிப்பாக ஒரு யூஸ்ஃபுல்லான வீடியோவாக இருக்கும். ஈவன் நீங்கள் மலாயா ரவுட் சார் மீட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு ஆசைப்பட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா கமெண்ட்ஸில் ஐ வாண்ட் டு மீட் மலாயா ரவுட் சார் மென்ஷன் பண்ணுங்கள். நாங்கள் என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா ஒரு 50 கமெண்ட்ஸ் நிறையா பேர் என்ட்ரி பண்ணோன்னையும் ஒரு ஆன்லைன் மீட் வைப்போம். அந்த ஆன்லைன் மீட் உங்கள் எல்லாத்துக்கும் லிங்க் அனுப்போம். ஸோ அந்த லிங்க் வச்சு நீங்கள் டேரெக்டாகவே அவர்கிட்ட இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணி உங்கள் டவுட்டை கிளாரிஃபிகேஷன் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஐடி இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் போகணும், உங்களுக்கு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்குது, நிறைய டவுட் கிளாரிஃபிகேஷன் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா ஜஸ்ட் கமெண்ட்டில் உங்கள் நேம், உங்கள் டிகிரி, எந்த ஒரு பாஸ்வேர்ட் மென்ஷன் பண்ணுங்கள். ஈவன் வேறு ஏதாச்சும் பர்சனல் டவுட் இருந்தாலும் தங்கிலீஷ்லேயே போடுங்க, நான் டீட்டெயிலாக ரிப்ளை பண்ணுறேன். இல்லை எங்கள் ஹெச்ஆரை கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன் ஹெச்ஆர் நம்பரை கொடுத்துருக்கேன், அவங்களை கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணுங்கள். ஏன்னா பர்சனலாக வந்து ஆஃபீஸில் ஐடி ரிலேட்டட் கொரிஸ் டவுட் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா எனக்கு பர்சனல் ஆஃபீஸ் வந்து மீட் பண்ணலாம். மண்டே டு சாட்டர்டே ஆஃபீஸில் இருப்பேன். ஓகே கைஸ், லெட்ஸ் கெட் இன்டு தி வீடியோ ஸ்கிப் பண்ணால் பாருங்கள். கண்டிப்பாக திஸ் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி ரியலி ஐ ஓப்பனர் ஃபார் யுவர் கரியர். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் கைஸ்.
So you guys belong to different colleges and are students there. Mostly which years? Second year, third year?
They graduated.
Most of you have already graduated and probably are looking for placements. And while you are looking for placements, you wanted to fill that up with some learning. Everybody on data science or different?
They're learning Python full stack. Dinesh, you will add.
So most of them are like based in Python. There are a few people who are interested in data science related of kind of career work, like they are mostly learning data analysis, data engineering and ML pipelines.
Got it. So today, when I got the invite from Yasir, I was thinking, what are the best things that I can give you today? Leave you messages for you to take away. 2 things came up. First is I'm going to tell you, and by the way, I already have 22 years of experience in the industry, IT. Last 13 years I have been working as a data scientist. And less managerial, even though I am the director of data science now, I build my own applications, I do my own coding, I do all the ground level work. So that's exactly what is called an individual contributor. But a director position doesn't come with being an individual contributor, because you have to influence and take the team forward along with you. You can no longer be an individual contributor. But the mindset of being an individual contributor is to be able to dig deeper into every problem or every challenge that you are given to work on. And at some point in your life, you should be able to, if you are providing a solution to a client, is it that can I provide or build that entire solution end to end if I sit alone at home for 20 days or 30 days? Just having that capability or having the confidence that you can build something within 30 days or build the entire solution within 30 days will give you a lot of skills or power while you manage a team and take it with you. So I'm a little more individual contributor oriented than the managerial oriented, but you can have your choice, which means that somebody can like only project management, somebody can like people management, or few others can utilize the time 70% on coding by themselves and 30% on managing, selling what you are developing, talking to clients, presenting what the team has developed, and strategically trying to take the company forward. So the first thing I wanted to tell you is there is a difference between a conceptual learning and understanding of what we get while you read a book on data science, or while you take a very structured course from one of the institutions, or from Coursera, Simply Learn. There is a difference between that and the real life that we get when you are working with a company and solving a client's problems. So I just listed out a few things. In order that I don't miss out on any of the points that I wanted to tell, I have jotted down the list. I didn't deliberately prepare a slide because somehow I'm a little hesitant to use slides and ask people to look at slides and go through the 4 or 5 things. That somehow I think slides take the fun away of the interaction of you people staring at my face and listening to what I'm saying. Otherwise, you will be staring here, right? So yes, I'll just keep referring to this. What are the kind of data sets? We will interact. Okay, whenever you have any questions, ask it right away, because even though I have plans to talk to you about those 2 things, if that plan does not materialize and halfway through time is over, that is also okay, because I don't have any target of completing this much or completing that much before my talk gets over. Rather, if there is a topic which is very interesting and all of you are asking questions, thousands of questions on that, and the entire time is consumed, I am happy that way also, because that way you are interacting and you are taking away something very useful. Probably I can come another day and talk about the other rest of the things. So stop me and ask questions. The difference between a real world data set and the kind of data sets that we are using here. Can you name anyone who has worked with data? Can you name a few data sets that you have worked with? Just tell the name of the file or name of the data set.
CSV.
CSV is a type of file format, comma separated values. I'm asking, was the name of the data set employee.csv or company.csv, or have you heard about iris.csv, Boston housing prices.csv? I did all of that 10-12 years ago. So theoretically, that is necessary, because in order to understand the concept, it has to be explained easily. And what helps you to understand something very easily? A smaller data set having 100 or 200 records. That brings the concept home and it helps you in understanding the data set. The difference is, the moment you set your foot inside a company and pick up a client's project, how many number of records or rows you will have in the data set? Yeah, many lakhs of records, millions of records you will have. And how much of when you take a look at the data set, how do you take a look at the data set? The moment you try to open that in an Excel, it will take 2 minutes for the file to open even, right? Sometimes your laptop will hang and get crash, and you'll have to find a way of converting that CSV file into another format, install another application through which you can take a look at the different format and not in a CSV form, because you will try to open your CSV with Microsoft Excel. That is the first challenge that you will face. That challenge you will never get here or in any textbook. So, how many missing values? When you take a look at the data set, let's say 30 lakh records, you take a look at that. What percentage, what would be the values of those columns like, of those rows like? What percentage of the data set will be junk or missing? I mean, in an IT system, when data is generated by somebody using the application, by the user using the application, there are many optional fields, right? You don't need to fill everything. And in some cases, a part of the information goes and gets stored in one table. Another part from that same form goes and gets stored in another table. And you will realize that if one column name is work experience, the other column is what's the maximum qualification you have. If the maximum qualification is student, of course your work experience is 0. Sometimes people have stored that as a null blank value. So that becomes an example of a missing value. How many such scenarios do you face here when you try to understand a concept through data sets? So the first difference is you will get a lot of messy data, which I call dirty data, when you try to take a look at the data sets that you get. And many junk values will be there. There would be a field called country. Somebody would write country as India with an uppercase I. Somebody will write IN, both uppercase. Somebody will write IN, both lowercase. Somebody will write INDIA with entire lowercase stuff. When you are programming and trying to pick that value of the country, you have to ensure that that program takes care of the various upper and lower cases, various combinations. Somebody will write BHARAT. If you have not placed the right validations while the form is being filled. So what I'm trying to say is the real life data sets that you see, it's very messy. There will be a lot of junk values. And what is messier than that? Sometimes you will find there are 10-15 transactions in a transaction table with a foreign key. But you will see in the primary master table that customer ID is missing. So that is an example of a lack of integrity of the data sets, of the database. The checks were not given clearly to ensure that you cannot create a transaction record and put it in the transaction table if the master table does not have that customer ID. Something like that, right? But in the real life, when you work for a client, you will encounter many such scenarios of such problems. So messy, dirty data you will find when you are. In fact, one of the analogies that I wrote last week when I was writing about messy data and all, it was like during our school days when you open your science book and you look at a human digestive system. You see the esophagus, you see the stomach, you see the small intestine, large intestine, the entire digestive system, and it looks so neat. You go and draw in the exam and you get full marks. Try to operate on your friend's body, cut him up and see how those organs look like. It will be quite messy because there will be a lot of fat around it. There are a lot of even I don't know the medical terms also, a lot of tissues that you will have to cut through, and you will see that the esophagus doesn't look like a solid, very distinct pipe. There are another 2-3 things pushing against it, and you will see that the esophagus is actually like this. And that is the difference between data in your theoretical book and the data in the real world. You'll have to clean out and see what is meaningful for you. Our science textbook has done that very well. They have seen bodies, they have seen inside what is there, they have extracted a very meaningful information out of it. Otherwise, how will you teach kids? To school children, you are not going to say that, oh, okay, this person ate a lot of cheese, lot of sandwiches, lot of burgers, and hence there is a lot of fat deposited around these tissues and take, I'm giving you the whole stuff. You don't need to tell that to the child. He will unnecessarily get confused. So in that case, in that scenario, you guys are the children having the school textbook, and I am the fat person who has a lot of fat around my esophagus and stomach. So someday when you cut me up, you will realize that it's not that clean. Size of the data sets, we already spoke about that there will be millions of records that you will have to deal. Your normal 4 GB or 8 GB of RAM laptops will not be able to handle that. And when you have matrix multiplications, the ones that are required for, have you guys heard about generative AI? You must have heard. Heard about large language models? Large language models? You have not heard about large language models? You're saying yes or no? Yes? All of you have heard about large language models? Okay, whoever has heard, can you try and tell me how is a large language model different from generative AI? I don't want to put you on spot. You sit down, sit down.
I just heard about that word of a lot.
Oh, because my question was, did you hear? You said yes. Okay. Can anyone else try? What is a large language model? What is generative AI? How are they related? We hear, so the mic is not working, is it?
They're asking us for the mic.
Okay, for the students. Why is the mic required? It's a small room and I'm audible, right?
Yeah, just audible.
Or it's there for the recording, is it?
Yeah.
It records well when this mic is there. I love this collar mic. I'm going to buy that. I have a complete podcast set up at my home.
Okay.
I love doing. I have done a few podcasts, and then I would love to create further podcasts. So, and sometimes that entire setup is a bit clumsy, right? The mic's handle would be coming up here. Sometimes it looks very good if you're able to put the stand beside and out of the frame.
Exactly.
To do all of those setup, it appeared a little clumsy, so I was not able to continue doing that. But this one looks very stylish. Okay, so somebody wanted to talk about large language models? No, not talk about. Just tell me what it is. No? Okay, generative AI. Which generative AI tools are you guys using? When? Gemini. ChatGPT and what else? Claude.
Passive mic on for us.
Only when you speak into the mic, it will be recorded.
Tell whatever you said.
ChatGPT, Gemini, and Crags like that.
And
Crags.
what is RAG you are saying?
Crags.
RAG. You are saying RAG.
Crags.
Okay. Okay, fine. RAG is a different thing. It's not a generative AI tool. It's a technique for achieving what you want to achieve from an LLM. Large language model is a machine learning model. Have you guys heard about supervised, unsupervised learning? Somebody who is a little closer to data science? Supervised, unsupervised learning? I think those are very big, bigger topics where conceptually we can talk about a lot. But let me not get diverted towards that. Large language model is a model, a machine learning model, whereas generative AI is an entire field that generates something from the model, tokens. Or when you do a prediction, the prediction output comes, right? You can generate text, you can generate audio, you can generate video, you can generate images and whatever stuff. So that entire thing is called generative AI. One example, and the best example of generative AI currently, the most robust example of generative AI currently is large language model. Before LLMs, what were the other generative AI techniques? Okay, before large language models, there were other NLP, natural language processing techniques like GAN, generative adversarial networks and all. I have used them and they were not very good. There were times when I asked the model to summarize a paragraph. Many times it used to randomly pick up one sentence and say, this is your summary of the paragraph. I said, what the hell? I would do better summaries than this. I'll do everything manually, it's better. But now try using that with large language models. You go to ChatGPT, give a full essay or a paragraph, ask it to summarize within 5 sentences, you will see the difference in quality. Hence, large language model is an example of a generative AI technique, and it's the darling of the industry at this point of time. After working with large language models, you will never try to go back to any other NLP techniques. Okay, that was a diversion. We will get back to how are your deadlines here? As in, when you are trying to learn a concept and try to submit an assignment, if you miss submitting the assignment on the day of the submission, does your instructor allow you 2 more days or 3 more days to take and complete and then submit? It doesn't. Who is your instructor? He doesn't allow you to submit?
They have recently joined. That's why they don't know it all.
Oh, they have recently joined and hence they have not faced that assignment wala thing.
That's right.
Okay, so, but I wanted to, taking that example, I wanted to prove that the timelines and deadlines mean entirely different things when you are working in a company than when you are submitting an assignment. But he broke the flow, saying, no, there is no extension here also. So how can I tell the difference, right? Okay, fine. The difference is, when you are working for a company, you take 3 extra days to complete the project. Who bears the cost of those 3 extra days? Either it's your employer or it's the customer. Some financial impact happens, some revenue impact happens. So the timelines to work on a project in a company convert directly into loss of revenue, loss of profitability, loss of utilization, everything. Those things we don't realize when we are working here and when we are submitting assignments. And let your instructor know and request him to talk to me if he is not giving you 2-3 extra days for submitting the assignment, right? Yeah. I'll give you my phone number also. The team dynamics. When you are working in a company, let's say it's a very large company, 50-member team is there to work on a project. Somebody went to the client and said, okay, you have this problem, you have this challenge, your revenue is going down quarter over quarter. Let's try and find out more about this problem, and because the consultant has a team of 50 data scientists or 50 engineers, the consultant will say, let's try to solve it in a data science way. That is the consultant's job, to determine, to understand the business problem. Now, who identifies the data sets that will be required to solve this particular business problem and moves the actual data from one database to another temporary storage where the data can be cleaned, prepared, aggregated, for further analysis. Who does that? Who moves the data from one place to another place? What's the role called? Huh? Yes, it's data engineering. That entire area is called data engineering. So data engineering will happen. So there is a data engineering team. Might be in a big team of 50 people, 4 or 5 people will be doing the data engineering work. Then who does the data transformation, feature engineering, feature selection, data exploration, deciding which algorithm, machine learning algorithm needs to be used, and evaluate which algorithm works the best. Who does that? That's another team. What is the team called? Okay, mostly data analysts, data scientists, or machine learning experts will do that. After the solution is ready, it has to be deployed in the production environment, integrated with the existing IT system, so that somebody needs to click a button on some screen that should trigger a prediction using the model, and the predicted value should come on the screen. Who does that integration? Who does that deployment?
Data science.
Okay, data scientist is yeah, it's correct. I will tell you why it is correct. The entire operations, it's called machine learning ops, ML ops, machine learning operations, because somebody needs to create the CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and somebody needs to place that model file, model object in the production environment. When the button is clicked, it has to go there. So that is another team. What I'm trying to tell you is there is a lot of overlap. As in, I gave you the example of a big company which had 50 people to do all of these things. Hence, MLOps, 5 people. Data engineering, 7 people. Data science, another 10, 15 data scientists. How will the dynamics happen among them? As a data scientist, the actual definition or expectation from a data scientist is to be able to do from extreme left side to the extreme right side, starting from data engineer. No, not that. Starting from business problem understanding to converting it into a data science problem statement, to identification of the tables and columns, to do the data movement, to do data exploration, to do model building, model evaluation, deploy in production, and monitor the adoption and usage of your solution by the business users. If it is being used and proper revenue savings or proper revenue generation happens because of your solution, the data scientist is expected to do that. So what I'm trying to tell you is the actual meaning of a data, if I call myself a data scientist, I have to be hands-on from here to here. That is exactly what happens in a smaller company. In a smaller company, there will be only 5 members. Can I have one person responsible only for data engineering? No, because after his data engineering work is done and others are working on data exploration, what will that person do? He cannot sit and watch. So I'll have to train him on data science, data exploration, model building also. Hence, to complete a solution like this, to deliver a solution like this, I would rather say I need 5 or 6 data scientists who can do everything end to end. The team dynamics, when there are multiple teams involved, you won't realize, because somebody would have a different aspirations and the data engineering team lead would be saying, no, I want to show to the client and to the company that my team is the best team, best data engineering team. Hence, I will ensure that in every meeting, I will ensure that in every client presentation, I am the one who is taking the lead and explaining everything to the client. The data scientist should be saying, oh, we are data scientists. Very cool role. Data engineers, what do they know? They don't even understand the data. They just use ETL tools like Informatica, move data from one place to another. What do they know? You won't realize the actual team dynamics problems. All of a sudden, the machine learning engineer who you relied on a lot will call you. I mean, you are the team lead and he will call you and all of a sudden say, okay, in my village there is a land dispute. I will have to immediately go and attend to that. I will not be available for the next 5 days. Then what will you do? You will have to manage with the rest of the people. If none of the other members in the team are ML experts, machine learning experts, then you are in trouble. You have to go and request, you have to manage with the domain expert to do some domain expert, as in an expert who is in the who is an expert in the industry. If it is healthcare, he is an healthcare expert. If it is manufacturing, he is a manufacturing expert. That domain expert, he will say, why don't you come and try building the model? Then the domain expert will say, hey, what the hell? I don't know how to work on machine learning models. I can tell you what happens in healthcare, but how can I build models? Come now, we will manage. We will not tell anyone. Come. So you are working with human beings, team dynamics. What I'm trying to tell you is, I'm telling you all these stories just to tell you that you don't see the real team dynamics and challenges here while you are studying, while you are learning. 5 people will be there in a team here, but 1 or 2 people will be doing the project end to end. The others will be busy with something else, and it is okay with everyone. I mean, that is what mostly happens. It's very difficult to find 7 people in a team and all 7 are equally talented and equally good at everything. 2 or 3 of them will mostly complete the project and the rest of. But those things will matter a lot in the company, because in the company, you have to contribute something. You cannot simply, it's called free riding, as in it has a negative tone to it after you start working in a company. But here, free riding is okay. All of us have experienced that as students. So that is what I wanted to tell about team dynamics. Cross team ownership, I told you. The MLOps team will say, I own this entire solution. He will be telling his team members, just ensure that we take responsibility of the biggest parts of these projects, and during client presentation, you should be the one who should be telling about how it was deployed, how it is integrated with the existing IT system, and how without the MLOps team, nothing happens. So team ownership challenges that you will face for the first time. The solutions you are building now, what happens after you have built a solution and explained to your instructor and submitted and got 80 marks out of 100 in application building, full stack development using machine learning? What happens after that?
Right? Like he's asking, like, what happens after you completed a project? Like you just worked on a project, right? So tell me, like, what happened after?
You can be very free. I'm very informal. I don't believe in right questions or right answers. The more incorrect your answer is, the better it is for the whole class, because, and for me also, because I'll also learn something from you. If it is incorrect, we will find out why it is incorrect. So don't worry about how silly or how good your question is. Okay. The best student in the class is not the one who answers everything. The best student in the class is the one who asks a lot of questions and troubles the instructor. If you are able to make me fumble, You are the best student. Okay, so try telling what happens after you have submitted the project.
I have completed in RAG projects based on digital marketing based projects. It is struggle for the models trained for the RAG oriented systems output for the answers.
Got it. The difference in the company or the industry will be when you start working, somebody has spent millions of dollars for that solution to be built. It has to be utilized, it has to be used by the person who has asked for, or by the team who has asked for the solution, right? So that is called adoption of your solution. Here after submitting, you forget about it, you scored 80% in that assignment, and in that assignment in capstone project, and you are happy about it. That solution will be lying on your laptop. But when you build a solution in the industry, you will realize that the real value of the solution is leveraged only when it is integrated with the production system. Clients have started using it, and they're either saving money or generating more money by using that solution. So adoption has to be there. If you guys have built a solution which is technically very sound, RAG, LLMs, AI, everything you have put, but the UI design is so bad, instead of 2 or 3 clicks that should ideally have taken the user to achieve that, you have put in 4 or 5 different UIs, which is a little confusing, and the users don't like using those pages at all. You stop using it. So what happens now? The adoption is very less. So now the difference between here and what happens after you join a company is you are responsible for the user's adoption. Technically very sound solution. You got a promotion at your company because you have provided a good solution, you led a team, the client paid the entire money, but the UI design was so bad that the adoption is very bad, and the real value or benefits of that solution is not leveraged. Slowly the entire industry is transitioning towards outcome-based promotions, outcome-based performance evaluation. Just because you earn some money from the client, you will not be given a promotion. Just because you technically solved a major challenge, you will not be given a promotion. We have to wait and see how well the solution works for the client and how much of rupees or dollars saving the client is getting because of our solution. So that's the outcome based. And in many client vendor relationship, it's called outcome based pricing. You will be paid only when the outcome is positive. If the outcome is not very positive and you are earning only this much, where you had planned to earn this much, you will be given a share of only this to the vendor. If the vendor gets less money, what happens to you? Whatever promotion was promised to you will not happen this year. We'll have to wait for 2 more years to see if we can promote you next. Those are the differences. That is what I wanted to tell. And yeah, please go ahead. Any questions, or if it is not a question and you want to add something, or I would love if you are able to contradict something.
Think. It's not about one way. You also have to think and ask questions.
Yes.
How to impress the clients, sir?
Sorry?
How to impress the clients?
How to impress the clients?
Nice question.
Yes, it's a very straightforward question. I mean, nobody probably openly talks about it, but most of the times what our managers do, most of the times what senior leaders do, they will never agree, but their entire 24 hours goes in impressing the clients. point number 1, you have to add value to the client's thought process. And a trick to do that is, if you realize that the client is very strong technically, when I say client, the business team which is giving you the project, let's say it's the marketing team which is giving you the project, and the chief marketing officer is your client, but he happens to have a technical background. He understands AI, ML, Python programming, everything. You have to get your best technical guy to be interacting with him. Otherwise, if you send your salesperson, I mean, no disrespect to the salespeople, but somehow I don't like them at all. So what happens is, you go to a client, you always, the client's request will be, I don't want to talk to a sales guy. I want to directly talk to the team who is going to develop this solution. In the chief marketing officer's case, if he has a technical background, you cannot put the salesperson without a technical background and a technical know-how for more than one time. The second time, it has to be your technical guys. That is one way to impress. The other way to impress is, if you are able to consult very well. For example, just because you are leading a data science team and you are sitting in front of the client, whatever problem he says, you should not forcefully fit your data science as a solution to that problem. If there is a solution where you see that simply by hiring one more person and making him sit in front of the system and go through line by line and click something, approve, reject, your entire problem is solved. If there is an opportunity like that, as a true consultant, as an ethical consultant, you should be saying, no, I don't think my data science team is required for this. I don't think you should even outsource the project to anyone. You just make another person sit and do this, accept, reject, approve, reject. Your problem will be solved. So indirectly, you are earning a lot of trust from the client. You saved him a lot of money. You truly showed him that you are a consultant at heart. Irrespective of looking for business, you were not money minded. You were more interested in solving a company's problem, a team's problem, than earning or making business. I think once you win the client's trust like that, after 2 years, when you really have to, when there is another opportunity, I'm quite sure, and it's a very large deal with a lot of money involved, I'm quite sure after 2 years, the CMO is going to come back to you and say, why don't you do this project now? It's like Steve Jobs connecting the dots, right? You did that because you thought ethically that was correct. You did that because irrespective of whether your company earns more money or not, you were a true consultant. But you never knew after 2 years what will happen. You never knew that the dots would connect. But after 2 years, you will realize that because I had done that, because I earned the client's trust, the client came back with a very large deal, which was 20 times larger than what you would have got that time. So I think throughout my life, I have followed that principle where, I don't know, there were many times when I try to be more truthful and honest than being business minded. I think that is what appeals people a lot. So try to do that as much as possible. Not every time it will be possible, because when your neck is on the line, you are honest and you did a good thing for the client. But coming back to your company, you lost the deal, you gained the client's trust, but you lost your job. It's not very easy to do that. So there are pros and cons. Okay, any other question?
But in most cases, the developers is not being in the direct contact with clients, right? Through business analyst only, we will be getting requirements. But though there is lots and lots of changes we are meeting in it, then how could we meet the client satisfaction?
Sorry, can you stand up and ask? What is facing question?
Sorry?
I understood. I can rephrase it for her. Okay, for the camera? Okay, please.
Sir, Anna sir, don't need sir, please sir.
Okay, so her question is, as a developer, junior developer in the team, there are seniors working, and mostly seniors are interacting with the client. Let's say,
Not even the developers. What I'm asking is, no, not even the senior developers is meeting with the client. Just business analyst is going and taking the requirements and they are passing on to it. In that, there is many changes. We already worked in it, but still there are lots and lots of reworks on there. Due to there is not a proper requirement coming from business analyst. Then, as a developer, how can I satisfy the client in this way?
so this is a very practical problem that we face throughout. It's not only between the BA and the development team. If by mistake you have a QA team, you see how the QA team and the developer team will be fighting with each other. And if you have a BA here, business analyst here, the same kind of conflict happens, because the BA mostly will be sitting at the client side. If there are 3 other people, you are going with them for lunch together every day and they are your clients, and they come and say, hey Malaya, while having lunch, hey Malaya, I don't think we should use a random forest model here. I think you guys have used a random forest model. Why not try something in neural network? I'm hearing a lot about neural network. You are having rice and fish and whatever with him, and then it's not a very professional discussion where you object to him saying, no, we have already delivered it. In order to do the changes, either you ask the developer to do it for free, or you have to ask the client for more money. While eating with him, it's a little difficult to say, okay, no, you have to pay extra for this and all. That never happens. So what is the easier part on part of the business analyst? To come back and say to the development team or the development team's manager, hey, we'll have to try neural network, man. I think this the business users are not very happy with the current level of accuracy. So I had a discussion with the client's team, and they want us to try out neural networks instead of random forest. Can we do it? Mostly it will be done. Because at the end, there is no straight answer for this. But what I can say is, till a certain threshold, you should be open to do those changes, but not at the expense of the development team's health, not at the expense of the development team's motivation, not at the expense of the vendor's money also. I mean, your employer's money also. If it is a very strategic relationship, you should check with the manager or your client or your partner who is handling it's called a business relationship manager or whoever. You should check, should we do this for free? It's extra 13 days. So let's ask her to do the development for another 13 days, and let's ask the other person to help her. So the calculation comes to $1,300 extra or $1,400 extra. You go and check with the business relationship manager. Can we invest this extra $1,400 from our own pocket and go ahead with this requirement? If the business relationship manager is looking at a strategic relationship, because he knows not only this product, in another 6 months, they are going to do a big revamp of their IT system, and very likely they are going to come back to us. Then you consider that as an investment and you go ahead. So a lot of other dynamics come into picture. So I think you asked 2 things. One, I guess, is the visibility of the junior developer. if a junior developer is very smart and is very vocal and is able to explain technical concepts in a layman's way, there is no harm in exposing the junior developer in front of the client. We do that every time. See, I have been talking to the clients for a long time because during my younger days also I was very smart, I was very vocal, and yeah, so what I'm trying to tell you is if you have those qualities, you will never be hidden. That is one. And the second is, not every developer will be so vocal, because sometimes it works in the developer's favor, because the client himself will say, I want to talk to the person who has developed this. So it depends on the listener also. If the CMO has a very good technical background, I'll say, no, I want to directly talk to you. I want to see how you have called the function to build the random forest model. I want to ensure that you are using the right training data set and the test data set for building your model. Hence, I want to discuss with you. So I don't think we have a lot of control over that. There are 4 or 5 different factors which have to be considered to handle your situation. One is visibility. The second is how much of extra financial load can you take to deliver the project to keep the client happy. At the end of the day, I am eating my rice and fish by sitting just beside the client, right? And they are like my friends only. During on my birthday, they took me out and we had a good party. And how much can you disappoint your friend? You have to do something, right? So that's what happens in reality.
I think there's one more question here.
Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, to impress clients,
Mic use karo.
you said that to impress clients, we need technical persons to handle that. So what if the technical person good at technical wise, but he's not good at communication or like that?
That's where you have to be careful. Then if the technical person is good only technically and not good at communication, then it contradicts her scenario, her question and my answer also. In that case, I will carefully say, okay, you develop, and the technical person would know, or I will have to tell him saying, no, your level of communication, even though you are technically good, your level of communication is not up to that. I will have to take a senior guy to explain what you have developed. But I would know your contribution, I would know the other person's contribution. When the appraisal time comes and the review time comes, I will give you good review for your technical capabilities, but I will try to put you onto certain programs where you improve your communication skills. So that is straightforward to handle. But if you are very restless, you are not good in communication and say, no, I want to go in front of the client, I think the company is taking a risk. Because how much ever technically strong you are, if the CMO does not understand technology, and you can, even if you are a good speaker, but you can speak only in the language of Python and the variables and data types and collections and rectangular data sets, what will that Pavam CMO understand? There is no point in putting you there. Okay, you come, talk, but let's not discuss technology. Okay, when I said during my younger days, right from the beginning, I was very smart and vocal and everything, that is incorrect. One anecdote is, when I was required to talk to the client for the first time, I was working with TCS. So we did 1 or 2 lines of changes, just 1 or 2 lines of changes for a change request. And somehow the client was technically very strong and he wanted to talk to me. He was a French client. I picked up the phone and he spoke to me in English. The accent was a little different. I didn't understand. I panicked. Then I said, hello, is there somebody speaking? Hello? Oh, I think the network is not good. I just hung up the phone and went out, had a glass of water and said, oh my God, what is happening? I'm not even able to talk. Then I went to my team lead and said, no, Cyril, the client had called. I could not understand what he said, and can you please talk to him before he escalates? So all of us go through those phases. Don't think that, and I am telling with a lot of accent and with a lot of style and a lot of confidence because it has been 22 years. I am doing almost the same thing. In another 22 years, you will be 10 times smarter than me. That I know because of ChatGPT and all your Gen AI tools. And that time probably you will have your own voice-to-voice converter or voice-to-voice speaker. You will be putting something here. And if I come and talk to you, you won't require to speak to me. On your behalf, that AI assistant will be speaking to me. I'll say, Bhaiya, maaf karo. Tell me.
Communication skills important as well.
Yes. Communication skills is important because let's say he is technically very strong, but he is not able to communicate what he has done. The program is running. And let's say he was awake till 3:30 in the morning, last 2 days, both the days. But when he comes to his manager and the manager is a bit strict saying, okay, so can we discuss about the progress of the project? He will panic and say, okay, I'll show you how this runs. He executes the program and it starts running, and there is one minor spelling mistake in the label of that field, and the manager his communication is not good, right? So he doesn't have the confidence to express that he has sacrificed a lot in the last 2-3 days, a lot of time, and come up with this solution. But he has to complete that sentence in English or in any language for that to be communicated. But in the meantime, before he could tell anything, any of that, the manager sees a small spelling mistake. What the hell? You don't even know how to write a single label. How can you show this to the client who has a spelling mistake? And the client is an English client. How can you, or even if it's not a spelling mistake, it's the US version of the same word. 2 different versions, right? Z and S. He'll say, why are you showing a US version of the spelling to the English client? And he will panic and says, but the application is running, the output is correct, the exe is there, because you are technically strong. So don't you think communication skills are important? In order to let people know that you are technically strong, you need communication. I have seen in a group, somehow as and when I am gaining more and more experience, as and when more and more number of years are passing, I have a very clear indication of why people hesitate to write emails, why people hesitate to ping something on a WhatsApp or a Teams message. Instead, they immediately ring and call you. Because you try forcing them to, or make them somehow to write one paragraph, and you see the level of English they write. It's very common. Even very senior leaders, you try to ask them to write 2-3 sentences. I bet I can find 4-5 different grammatical errors. At one point of time, it was my hobby. In earlier company, we had a group of 3-4 people. So we used to quiz each other on grammatical errors, on usage of this, that, and we get emails from other people. So I would gather people around my desk and say, find out 4 mistakes in this email. And my manager would have written that email. Okay, no disrespect to that manager. If you are recording, I still love you. I still love the manager. But what I'm trying to say is we used to make fun of that entire thing and used to get a game out of it. So I'd ask, tell me 4 errors in this email. So 3 lines will have 5-6 different errors. One of them would be, I don't know if there is any specific example I can give.
There versus theirs. There are 2 versions of there and there, right? Sometimes something comment.
Yes. I'll give you two examples, but not exactly. I don't remember what is written in the email. I drank some water from the okay, I'm just trying to frame it correctly so that I don't give away the answer. Okay, I drank some water from the bottle of me. If I say that, what is incorrect here? I drank some water from the bottle of me. The bottle is my bottle. Huh? From the bottle of mine. Okay. You drank some water from the bottle of? Huh? Yours. Okay. Both the answers are correct. Let me tell you this. I and you are going to work on this assignment together. Dude, what is wrong in this?
You and I for people.
Huh?
You and I finally.
Why?
Usually the third honey. You have the third subject. What do you call that? Second subject and this.
You give more importance to the other person first and then you place yourself.
First.
If there are three people, you say you, him, and I, and then the rest of the sentence. But these are minor things, but these are very interesting when you play around. I had come up with some 40-50 different things, and we used to have quiz mostly on practical scenarios by looking at the email. So that will be a lot of fun. Sunday I would do all of that to you guys also. Okay, fine. Enough. You have a question. So enough of this English stuff. I'm finding it a little hard to recollect all the ones, but there are much more interesting facts on this. So yes, communication skills. Unless you improve your communication skills, you are not going to have your dinner for the rest of the time till you have improved your communication skills. You promise yourself to that. You promise to yourself that thing. And within 2 months, you will improve your communication skills. Otherwise, don't have dinner. Because skipping dinner is anyway a very good habit. It reduces fat, and if you eat late at night, it doesn't get digested well. The metabolism suffers. See, older people like me at 43, 44 years, we try to think about metabolism, sugar, what we eat, when we eat a lot, because the body starts reacting immediately. So many days I also skip my dinners. Not to improve my communication skills, but to reduce my fat and to stay lean and thin. Okay, question.
I have two questions. One is the which data science skills is the most demand for fresher graduates, and another one is what are the challenges you are facing in the data science industry? Can you tell about this? What are the challenges you are facing in data science industry?
What was the first one you said? Which data science career?
Skill is the most demand as a fresher.
Okay.
For a fresher.
For a fresher person. How much time do we have? When do we stop?
Yeah, we have 20 minutes.
20 minutes more? Okay.
Let's say 15 minutes.
Okay. In order to form a team who will be able to deliver that solution to the client, who all are required? We named the different roles, right? Who all are required to be part of that team? A business analyst or a consultant who talks to the client and finds out what solution should go. Second, the data engineer, a domain expert, machine learning expert, ML ops, you can have any of the skills, or a programmer, a Python programmer, you can have any one of those skills and be part of the team, be part of the data science team. Let's say in a team, there is, let's say you are a domain expert, huh? But the data science team has an ML ops guy who also knows about the healthcare domain, and you are a healthcare domain expert. Will I require to hire you again? I don't need you, right? Because I have an ML ops guy who is played the dual role of a data scientist and a domain expert. Let's say this entire set of people, they are there, but all of them are freshers. And as I said, none of them have good communication skills. I am the one who doesn't understand technology, who doesn't understand healthcare, but I know how to blabber and do my buckers and impress the client with my communication skills and write good emails. There are very high chances I will get a place in the team. No, because all the other 5-6 members are not capable of doing that. So the way to look at being part of a team, it is looked at not from your point of view, it's looked at from the team's requirement point of view and who are existing in the team already to satisfy that requirement. If there is a portion of the requirement which is not satisfied, let's say it's a very challenging project, technically you are strong, but we have budget. The money that the client has paid, he has paid good money. I don't need to rely, or even I don't need to trouble you and rely only on your technical skills to do the entire thing. I have money, let me hire another technical guy. So what this is dependent on? This is dependent on the client's money. And how does the money come? The vendor estimates from the requirements how much of manpower will be required in how many days. Then quotes the price to the client. If the client agrees, the money comes, the money is paid, and hence I have money to hire the other guy. So the answer to your question is, the skills that are required to be, for me to be on a safer side, I would try to learn the end-to-end spectrum. Because by that way I am making my employability chances higher. Because,
Swiss knife.
yes, because if I go and talk to a company in an interview, I'll say, you replace these 4-5 guys with me, I'll handle alone all of these things. Will the company not be very happy? I mean, if I go and tell that, he will not replace them. But just because he knows that I can be put in this team, I can be put in that team. You remember the developer who went to handle the land dispute? Who will be the first person that the manager will rely on when he is on leave for the next 1 week? Because I am the Swiss knife, right? And along with all of that, you remember the nice emails I write with all grammatically correct English and the kind of drama and acting I do in front of the client and try to impress him with my communication skills? Who will do that? Swiss knife. So the answer to your question is, look at this spectrum, try to achieve as much as possible, both in depth and width. Earlier, the requirement of the industry was a T-shaped. 15 years ago, you were required to know at the surface level many things. You know at a very good depth only machine learning algorithms. 15 years ago, that was the requirement. So it became a T. Now you come to my interview and say you are an expert in machine learning algorithm, you don't know how to write an SQL query. Not required in my team. Got it? Then from T-shaped, it increased to V-shaped, which is like this. You are good in machine learning algorithms, little less good in data engineering, little less good in MLOps, little lesser good in domain, little lesser good in something else. That was V-shaped requirement. Now you know what is the requirement? Huh? It's called comb-shaped requirement. You have this. You show me a little, you appear a little light on MLOps, I don't need you. You appear a little light on data engineering, I don't need you. That's why try to be that Swiss knife, but that is the ideal scenario. You cannot find one person who can be good in everything, right? That's a little unfair to expect. So while the industry is trying to go to reach to that level, as a recruiter, in my JD, I will ask that comb shape, but mostly I will end up with a V shape. E shaped, I cannot manage. Very small team, I cannot pay your salary just because you are saying you know ML algorithms. I can do ChatGPT and learn ML algorithms within 10 days, right? Okay, so does that answer your question?
Sir, one more question, sir. Now, in this era, there are rapid growth in AI and ML, right? So, if there are a lot of tools and lot of technologies, lot of algorithms are invented. If we want to work in a project, we want to be up to date in this field, right? How to be up to date, sir, and how to set a correct roadmap for a good career growth.
Okay, so there are certain attributes that I would like you to follow, that I would like you to practice. One is, this is my personal opinion, you might have a different approach, but let me share my personal opinion on how I think of the current scenario. During my school days, I was very sincere, very strict. I will start reading from the first page of the book, or the science book, till the last page of the science book. Every important sentence will be underlined. Only when I close the book on the last page, I will say, I am prepared for the science exam. Book 1 over. Book 2, mathematics book. Read, write. That was a structured way of learning. We didn't have internet, and we had only very people, our parents or our neighbors, to ask about information. That was very structured way of learning. But now these days I realize, I start reading a book, hardly 10-15 pages, I find myself reading another book, 7th chapter. Then I switch to another, let's say, a book about presentation skills. Steve Jobs' wonderful presentation skills. Another book. I am reading chapter number 3 on that. So there are so many unfinished books that I have read. So what I'm trying to tell you is, there is a chaotic way now of information receipt. The information flow is happening from so many different sources. If you want to learn unsupervised learning, what would you do now? You will go and try to search YouTube videos by typing unsupervised learning videos by the best trainer in this world. And let me know if you find my name there. I'll give you my mobile number. So, and how many such videos will be there? 30 videos will be there. One of them will be 2 hours, one of them 4 hours, one of them 6 hours. How do you decide which one to read? Because which one to watch? All of them are 2 hours. If you decide that after watching all these videos, then you have wasted your time. So you have to pick video number 27, minute number 58 to minute number 75. Whatever it is talking about unsupervised learning, particularly K-means clustering, is very useful to you. In the meantime, you logged into LinkedIn and you find out somebody has written an article. Mostly it could be me. Written an article on LinkedIn about unsupervised learning and K-means, you read that. Then you call up your friend and say, okay, I remember you were talking about unsupervised learning for this assignment and you were taking a course here. Can you just tell me what was the assignment and how did you submit? You do that. Then you find a data mining book. Chapter number 9 is unsupervised learning. You read that. So what is happening? The flow of information, the variety of sources from which we are collecting information is very irregular. My first suggestion is, if you are able to accept the chaos and if you are able to somehow convert the chaotic way of information flow and try to assimilate in your brain, that will give you a lot of learning. If you see a paragraph, an article about K-means clustering versus hierarchical clustering, don't keep it aside marking that after 2 days at 3 p.m. when I am having lunch, I will read this article. If you keep that aside, you will never get to that article again in your life. So I have changed my principles from what I was doing during my school days to adapt to the current chaotic way of information flow. Even if I am in a meeting with another 50 people and I see an article like this, I'll at least scan through and see if it is talking sense or not. If it is talking sense, I read through it. I have stopped marking and keeping aside stuff to be read, understood, assimilated at a specific or a time in the future. That has never happened for me. So my advice number 1 would be, try to accept and try to adapt to this chaotic way of information flow. Bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. So it is like working backwards. I will ask you to work on a client's project. It is about healthcare. It uses AI, specifically generative AI and large language models. It requires communication skills. It requires data engineering. Are you telling me you are going to complete a data engineering course, you are going to complete healthcare domain understanding, you are going to complete entire large language model learning and then come to me saying I am ready to work here? No. You have to work backwards. Take the project, understand what all it requires. Let's say healthcare, right? Does it talk about kidneys or does it talk about the brain or does it involve the blood system? Definitely nobody will expect you to have to go back and do an MBBS just to work on that client's project. You have to find out what it is talking about. Oh, it is neither talking about kidneys nor blood nor the brain. It is talking about eyes. Then you go back and start. Eyes mein kya hota hai? There are some nerves which transmit information from the eyes to the back of the brain. तो तभी तुम्हें realize होगा, अरे हाँ, I read in that novel, the lady fell down from the scooter, hit her back, and she lost her vision. So that gives you a clue that okay, might be यहाँ पे वो eyes का कुछ तो है. This part of the brain are receiving the information from the nerves from the eyes. So you are going a little deeper. कोई search in images in Google, how does the eye look like? हमें लगता है कि ऐसे कुछ flat type का होगा, पर whenever you go and see the image, it will be a complete round thing. Major part is inside and 4-5 muscular strands are coming behind the eyes. So that is how you go deeper into it. That is what I call working backwards. And it talks about LLM, talks about generative AI. Okay, one thing I did not mention till now. This entire thing, where do you write your programs? The client says, they have subscription to AWS cloud, Amazon cloud provider. Then are you telling me you go back and do a 6 months course on AWS and then come to me for working on the project? No. The moment you come to know that the project that you are going to work on, the client expects the final solution to be deployed on AWS, you go back and see, oh, AWS, then why should I use a local LLM and a different GPU? If it is AWS, let's go to Amazon Bedrock, try to place my open source model there in the storage, or no, I don't need to. There are two options. Either I place the open source model on the storage, or I can directly use the Amazon Bedrock services to pass my prompt to the LLM and get a response. That has certain price. If you place a local LLM, open source LLM on the storage, that has a different price. So you do those comparisons. That is how you should work backwards. So yeah.
I have one question. I have one question on behalf of the audience.
Yes.
So you have had a very good career over the last few years. I mean, whatever duration you spoke about. One of the things, especially for freshers, is that how do you, when you get into organizations, right? Sometimes work is one part of it, but the other side is to handle the office nature. There are different kinds of people. Obviously, with that comes complexity, the culture, and to an extent, some kind of politics, right? Now, given that you spent with different organizations like TCS and various other organizations, could you tell some of do nots so that people can surf through over a illustrious, like let's say 20, 30, 40 years of career? Whatever you've learned in your journey, if you could share something around that.
Find out, I see clearly two different broad segregations. Managerial, people related versus technology related. Find out which one attracts you more. If you are a people related person, try to grow in the managerial line where you become a vice president, where you ultimately become a CEO, then a CEO and stuff like that. If you are a technology oriented person, don't bother. Let my friend be the CEO. I can be the CTO. Or I can be somebody who takes care of the entire technology of the company or handling a technical team and stuff like that. But it's not, when I say segregated, these are not exclusive to each other. For example, if you are a managerial person, it's not that you are completely devoid of technology. You have to deal with technology a bit. Might be 80% managerial, 20% technology. Similarly, the technology guy, might be the company you are getting hired into doesn't have the concept of an individual contributor. So what will happen? You will have to manage a technical team of 20 people. किसी का तो land dispute रहेगा ना. The land dispute will be there for somebody. You will go away. You will have to handle. And then you realize after 2 days, oh my God, there is really no land dispute for that person. He was very angry with me because I did not give good feedback, positive feedback to the vice president about his work. And you remember that person who was bad with communication skills? He completed the application building by staying awake till 3:30 in the morning, 2 days. But is it my mistake? He couldn't come and explain it to me, so I don't even know he was awake. And I don't even know how much he sacrificed. And now the same person went away citing excuse of land dispute. Then how do you handle that tantrum, the so-called tantrum? Or how do you handle as a leader, many people have said, as a leader, don't try to impress everybody. Somebody said, no, Steve Jobs said, if I think in his welcome speech to newly promoted vice presidents, he said, if you want to please everyone, don't be a leader, sell ice creams. People will be very happy. Everyone is happy while having ice creams. If I want to impress you, probably I will give you an ice cream bus. Then don't come and tell me you want to be a leader. So what this means is there is no way you can handle perfectly the entire team and all the people issues and everybody. There will be disappointments. There will, if 60% of the company is with you and agree to what you are making as a decision, there will be another 40% people who would be sitting on a hunger strike saying, stupid leader, did not think about this, did not think about that. And another 60% of the people will be saying, Aap to Bhagwan ho hamare liye, because of you our livelihood is going. So what do you do as a leader? So practical, that is one thing. Second is, try to be honest. Try to be honest with everyone and direct with everyone. If I have a problem with your communication skill, I should be telling it then and there about your communication skill. If you keep it for a later time that during your appraisal, I will tell you on this, I will give you a different feedback and all of that. Before telling you, I should not be talking about your lack of communication skills with him. So that is a no-no, because if I have being a professional, you don't hesitate to tell the truth and disappoint somebody. Being a professional, you are expected to be very straightforward and no politics kind of a thing. But it rarely happens. You will always find politics, you will always find difficulty everywhere. And another quote, there are many quotes that I love. There is an advice that don't discuss people, discuss ideas. Somebody said, good people discuss ideas, bad people discuss people. I will talk about your attributes. I will talk about the fact that he went to lunch, he came for lunch every time with me, but he didn't invite me for his sister's wedding, man. That is something probably that you come across in your office, but do you understand? That is discussing people. And so just because I got promoted, he did not get a promotion, he did not invite me. How selfish, man. How irresponsible. If I discuss that with you, then I am discussing people. I am discussing about his attributes, what he cannot do, what he did incorrectly. But if you discuss ideas and stay true to your technology and your role, like, what stupidity, man. You should not have done this change in the master table. It is supposed to be done in a transaction table. That was the first mistake one of the mistakes I did in TCS when I joined the first team and did a development. Indrajit Chatterjee, he is still connected with me through LinkedIn. In the meeting, he said, Malaya, very slow learning rate, man. What I have done in that system, customer records are there, master table. As I said, right? Transaction table. The change was supposed to be made in the transaction table because that customer is making a purchase of something and it has to go and get stored there. What I did, when the transaction is saved or submitted, I put that in the master table again. So at some point it failed when there was a record to be selected for the customer. The master table, the customer ID has to be primary and unique. It started giving errors because if the SQL query's output is expecting one single row, instead of that you extracted 2 rows, it will start throwing you an error. It started throwing an error. Then the business user, while doing UAT, said this is the error. He logged a ticket. Then my manager, my team leader realized that I have done this lafda and he asked one of the seniors to do it entirely. So the entire CR, change request, of 20 days or so was done in 4-5 hours by that senior guy. Why did I get to this example? Be true to your role and technology. Focus on, if you talk about a technical detail, how many objections are you going to face? If you say large language models are better than GANs, and the example that I gave earlier, summarizing was very nasty. Now summarizing is very good. That's one of my opinion and one of my current belief. If you want to contradict. If you have a different opinion, we'll talk about that. So discuss ideas, discuss technology, but don't discuss people. If you get into the discussing people, it automatically goes into that politics wala thing. Okay.
I think we'll take one final question.
Sure, we can take one final question.
I saw that very great cipher.
Is this, sorry, you are asking a question.
Yes. So actually, we are also working in a healthcare project, sir. For that project, we are using Edge AI. So we want to implement a AI system in a Raspberry Pi. So
In a?
Raspberry Pi
Okay.
or small edge device. So now we want to implement, fine tune an AI model related to the image-based model, sir. What type of data? I want to collect lot of data. It will be using a camera, will be monitor the patient, and it won't be give the output. That's it. So I want to collect the data related to that. So what are the? Can you give me some suggestions while I'm doing data collections?
Okay, you are at the data collection phase, is it?
Yes.
I think I did a mistake when I said let's discuss technology and not people. Now she asked me a technology question which I don't know the answer of. Why don't we start discussing people? Let's discuss people. Okay, no. Sorry. The AI system is what? The AI model is what? You are saying fine tuning the AI model.
Yes, fine tune the model.
What is that AI model?
The model currently we are using is YOLO model. We are also looking for
Image object identification. Okay.
Yes, sir. So we are also looking for another models such as SAM and Dino V2, a lot of models for image processing.
And the image is of what in healthcare?
Images of persons, patients, their hand gestures, how they are working, and to monitor their postures.
Okay, how they are walking.
Yes, is them taking medicines or not, just like that. We are capturing their postures.
At what point of time, where are you going to fix this camera?
Is this used for in their house or caretakers? So we want to make that the patients is taking medicine or not for aged peoples.
Got it. So you are saying in the department of geriatrics, in order to help, let's say, elder people, if they are alone at home,
Yes, sir.
you want to monitor if they are taking their medicines on time, one. And the second is, even if they are taking medicines or not taking medicines, if there are any weak or suspicious body movements,
Yes, sir.
you can immediately flag saying there is an emergency, and you can send the ambulance to that house and help the person. Is that the requirement?
Yes, sir.
And your model is object identification using convolutional neural networks, is it? CNNs. So your data set is not a rectangular data set. It's not rows and columns. You should deal with a lot of, either you take the video and analyze the video to see those patterns, or you can take it frame by frame. Let's say if it is a 60-minute video, you have the choice. you click the image every second. So in 60 minutes, you have 3600 images and you can process image by image. So in your training data set, you should have certain images which are non-suspicious, certain images which are suspicious. I mean, where you see there is an abnormality. If you want to monitor medicines also, you have to identify those images through which you are ticking or putting a level of 1, saying medicine taken or medicine not taken. So I'm guessing your input data set will be a lot of images where you divide the images of two types. It's like zeros and ones in a classification machine learning model.
Yes, sir.
And every, let's say you imagine every image as one row in your table. So there are images which are suspicious, images which are normal. You have to train your model to segregate or classify between normal images and suspicious images.
Yes.
So it will be a CNN, but with so every row you have to use prediction of the CNN and create the training data set and the test data set with normal images, suspicious images. In the test data set, you have normal images, suspicious images, and you build an entire classification model through which, when you are actually using it in the production environment, in the live environment, the moment there is, you encounter an abnormality, you immediately send an alert in an SMS, or you make a call to the emergency services, you make a call to the ambulance or something like that. So probably we can discuss in a bit more detail, but that's what I think you can do. You can consider every record to be using a CNN and treat that entire thing as a binary classification model. Not sure. Probably we'll have to check. We'll have to check further and see what can be done. I can give you my WhatsApp number if you have any other specific questions. We can discuss about that, specifically about this problem statement also.